Here are the Honda starting goalies. For the Flyers, it's Steve Mason, 30 wins. His career high is 33. 10th start in the last 12. His 6th against the Rangers. He has against them no regulation losses. Henrik Lundqvist winning his goalie in Rangers history. 29 wins this year, 4 in a row, plus Olympic gold and Olympic silver. Claude Giroux with 24 points in the last 16 contests. Red hot and the leader of these Flyers. Brad Richards has been strong offensively as well against Philadelphia, goal and 2 assists. There have been 3 games played between the two. This is the last of the regular season. 2 were won by the Flyers, 8 majors, 7 misconducts, 1 ejection. Wednesday night rivals.
How about the way the Flyers are starting this one with Giroux on the wing with Couturier and Reed?
What do you make of that?
Just a little matchup question for Alan Avino, probably. Philadelphia Flyers coach.
Couturier threw it on a cross. Looking very much these days like Jeff Hartnell used to look, 14 in white. This one kicked ahead. He says the beard doesn't bother him. The itch time is gone. Meanwhile, to the hockey game at hand, Giroux bounces one in, and Lundqvist turned it aside. Jammed along by Stahl, but turned right into Lundqvist. A difficult angle, but a strong shot came his way.
An orchestration from Craig Berube. Look at who line mates are for Giroux. Giroux started at right wing, but his line mates come off the bench after the shooting. Giroux knows to stay on because Voracek and Hartnell are coming. So a good solid Voracek and just whip the puck on goal. Smart orchestration right now by the Philadelphia Flyers and their coach Craig Berube, trying to break down matchups on the road.
Backed away by Nash. A lot of strength out there offensively for the Rangers with Marty St. Louis there. Turned over for Giroux's shot, and that one was blocked aside by McDonough. Brought on to center and flopped back to the corner. The angle play there, and St. Louis flew one that went up out of play. And the clock is stopped. Craig Berube said this morning that the turning point in the season for him was 5 wins out of 6 on the road right after Christmas. They had had some stretches before that were strong, but that was when he noticed his team was playing so solidly both ways.
And one of the guys that's played solid for him on the ice right now, Sean Couturier, Doc. And a lot of coaches around the league really taking notice of the development of Couturier in his 3rd year in the NHL.
Young man out of Arizona, second-generation hockey player from his family.
Here again, the matchups changing on the fly. They win the face-off, and Craig Berube really has a game plan here. You can tell early on.
That one is blocked by Grossman, played on, and it is nicely started back up again. Flown on the wing now for LeCavalier, and his shot blocked, and another try, and that was answered by Lundqvist. Carried back ahead by Matt Zuccarello. He walks in, has 2 breaking, throws it across, hoping for Miller. Did not get him, and so back and forth they go right now. Simmons handed it across, played back to him, flown wide in the net. It's the Rangers' turn to come back up ice. Well, this is okay. Here's Miller feeding one in front. Oh, the save is made in front by Mason. Another shot, and he's just now gotten back to his feet. And flopped on out as far as center, and going back to play it now is Anton Strawman. Pulled away by Dominic Moore, rattled right back in again, and around it curled. Good shoulders there. Ronaldo was a part of that, and also Derek Brassard. Tipped on out to center, shunted on back, chipped away by Stahl, read there by Adam Hall, tucked on across right in front of the Rangers bench. It's lofted back in, and Mason sees it go to the pie slice where he can't play it. So it's rolled around behind now for the Flyers to generate an attack. Pretty interesting start. 2 shots to 1, the Flyers in the game. Jammed along the boards and can be finessed on further. They hope for Richards, and they get him. Centered in front, and that one tipped aside. And a chance now, but Voracek was not able to control. Takes the man anyway.
Great defensive play by Claude Giroux, Doc, with his stick down low in coverage.
Voracek able to race back out. He's got a play to be made toward Giroux, but smeared out of the way in the collision with Pouliot, and it's lobbed on back now by Hagelin. Controlled and fed back in. Off the tip that came from Kimmo Timonen, finessed on by Girardi, played further by McDonough. and McDonough just waits behind and plays it along for Nash. That one flown ahead. Stepan comes up with that. Stepan delays, gave on to San Luis, and a shot ricocheted off Mason and popped out of play.
You always like to see energy from your depth players. Dominic Moore is one of those depth players. A little saucer pass, him driving hard to the net. Good back check by Ty McGinn, and a real nice save by Steve Mason, who looked like he got a little nicked up. Luke Shen there to clear up the mess. Young man out of Harvard University, Dominic Moore.
Nicks and cuts are all a part of games between the Flyers and Rangers, and for that matter, any two teams you can pick in the league. It is a collision sport played at the most 4 times a week. Thrown across, and Nash a shot, or check that, a pass, and San Luis, a shot that went off the glass. Boy, you can tell San Luis feels a lot better by how strong his game has been so far. Here's a shot that's blocked off as McGinn tried to throw onto the net, no luck. Along it comes now to the point where it is held by McDonald. Played along behind. Couturier couldn't come up with it. Played through Matt Reed. Slugged by McDonald to the corner. Reaching in and trying to play Couturier. Couturier chased off there. Defensive work done by Rafael Diaz. And then a shot by McGinn is blocked down. Kept by Coburn. Slugged off the boards behind and taken by Stepan for the Rangers. Derek Stepan couldn't play it on through. Second effort, stepping in the way as McGinn. Collided with the boards kind of crazily there, but seems okay. And so this is thrown on back and can be played further. Kimmo Timonen waiting around behind, picks up Braden Coburn, and then lays a pass ahead that is flagged down and bunted right back in on an offside by Vinny Lecavalier.
Doc, I love what you said about Marty St. Louis. Yet to dent the twine here. You see him shaking his head, but it's a nice job on a set face-off play. Starts on the boards, gets a feed from Rick Nash just high and wide. You talk about him feeling better. He drove to Madison Square Garden from his home in Connecticut today for the first time since he was traded here by the Tampa Bay Lightning. So he's starting to get acclimatized to the area more and more and trying to settle down, not staying in the hotel.
Greenwich, Connecticut is where he's from. Nice town, eh, Pierre?
Oh, yeah.
Cranked on ahead, and that one is turned aside by Lundqvist. If you've not learned to read Pierre, that oh yeah means oh yes it is. Carried ahead now by Zuccarello. Zuccarello pivots and throws one in front, blocked just wide by Coburn, and to a side peeling off with it is Miller. Round behind it is reached. Escaping with it is Dorsett. Gave it to the back, and it's ripped across to Stahl, and a shot was wide and out of play. Have a question about tonight's matchup? Join former goalie and hockey expert Kevin Weeks right now while you watch tonight's game. Log on to www.nbcsports.com/FaceTime to participate in a live chat presented by Edward Jones.
Kevin Weeks, a former New York Ranger.
And a guy that was in a magical run that the Carolina Hurricanes had in 2002 when they got to the final against Detroit.
You spent a little time with him in New Jersey, too, didn't you, Doc?
I think so. And in New Jersey, they were glad to have him after what he did to the Devils that year.
Yes.
This one is swung along now and in traffic. Stepan with a shot that is canceled out. Stepan's stick failed him on the cancellation by the Flyers. Nash dueling there with Voracek. Voracek prevails for now. Voracek with a step here. Tries to cross over, and it is knocked loose and kicked loose off the skate of McDonough. Then along for Voracek. Flipped one on that is wristed by Grossman and held by Lundqvist. Alain Vigneault knows his team has this game, and then they will be going on the road out to his old turf. Out Vancouver way with a stop off before in Calgary and another in Edmonton.
And what's interesting is they've got a few days off between their game in Edmonton and their game in Vancouver. Rather than staying in Banff, Alberta, where general manager Glenn Sather is from, where the Rangers have been many times, they're actually going to Vancouver and spending that time in downtown Vancouver, Doc. So a little bit different twist for the New York Rangers rather than staying in Alberta, heading to the big city in Vancouver.
Twisting along with this is Diaz, wearing Ron Greschner's old number 4. To a side battle, and it's taken on now by Raffl. Tried to get by. Taken by Hall with Raffl jamming at the front. And then it is played back ahead by the Ranger defense and gotten out as far as center. It was Boyle that did that. And it's hoisted on back in again. Diaz to turn there. And it is trapped by Lundqvist, and Diaz winds up in the net. And a log jam of players to complain about that.
And a Ranger power play coming. both Don Van Massenhoven and Dan O'Halloran put their hands up at the same time. Rolling puck, and how appropriate is this, Doc, with baseball season right around the corner. Short hoppers for Henrik Lundqvist, and you see Zach Rinaldo just drive Rafi Diaz right into and almost on top of Henrik Lundqvist, and so he's going to get a penalty for that.
He sits. Rangers to the power play. They are 1 for their last 19. The power play is sponsored by Husqvarna. Nice folks who take no responsibility for how well the power plays work. But boy, if you want gloves and things like that, they're the ones to call. The Rangers have sets of gloves on right now, trying to break this string that is only 1 for 19. Flyers have been great at killing them off. 30 of the last 31. Traditionally, Flyers teams did that.
They're real good at it, I agree, Doc, especially with 14 and late out there.
Turnaround shot is blocked away by Matt Reed. Handed on across and can be settled down by St. Louis and given back to him again. St. Louis out of the University of Vermont lays it on back to Diaz, and a shot and a save made by Mason through a screen and cleared.
In a helter-skelter year for Rafi Diaz. Started in Montreal, moves to Vancouver, and now he's playing on the bright lights on Broadway. A lot different kind of a year for him.
This one curled around to Mason. Mason able to slug it back off the glass, and it careened back down. And racing back first, Raffle around behind got in a collision, tumbled down to the ice. Rangers able to step ahead. San Luis able to step on with it and send it back in, but offside is the call.
And this is one of the things when you've got injuries and you're trying to find guys and get them in your lineup. Rafi Diaz played to his strength. More of a point producer and a guy that can shoot the puck pretty well. He finds a way to get that knuckleball through, and a good right pad save by Mason and a clear by Braden Coburn.
Diaz watching from the bench now. Spanish father and a Swiss mother, has twice represented Switzerland in the Olympics.
It's Vern Blindenbacher, Doc.
Severin Blindenbacher has been a part of that defense, and Mark Streit has as well. Ahead now comes Zuccarello, finessed it back over. Pouliot turning with it there. Jammed it off the back of the cage. Around it curled now for the take by McDonough. Flopped on back to Pouliot, trying to dance free, is walled there. Meanwhile, it is squibbed around now for the return and the take and the clear back along by Richards, that is held but at center by McDonough, chased off and plastered by Matt Reed. To the last half minute of this power play. Laid right back ahead for the turning Pouliot, sized up by Timonen, canceled away, but he got it back again to Richards. Richards with a shot that's deflected across. Raffle to take it there. Lobs one on ahead that's on the money now for Hall, and the shot steered wide and a good reach by Richards. Then chopped at by Hall, taken by Zuccarello. To the last 10. Zuccarello rifles a pass all the way down the ice and an icing. And so the offensive zone faceoff for the shorthanded Flyers.
Well, Philadelphia, Doc, you talked about their penalty killing and how good it's been. You know, 5th in the league last year, 6th in the league this year. A lot of consistency. There's one of the main ingredients. Andrew MacDonald knew coming over from the Islanders. He was averaging 25 minutes a game on Long Island. He's averaging 20 minutes a game here, and they've really seen his game start to accelerate because of the limited minutes.
Some trouble here, but eventually it is controlled and handed back now, and then returned on over for the play to be made back out by Stahl, and the Flyers leap to get out of the way of a too many men call. And so we are back at full strength action here. Nearly 8 minutes played first period. Back up now comes Giroux, flies it around behind. The bouncer comes over near Hartnell, chipped away from him, and dragged on back by Stepan. Curls met by Hartnell, given up to Giroux, but then it bounced off him, and is eventually grabbed by McDonald and spirited back to Giroux. Finesse back on now for McDonald, can't get through. Laid back ahead now for Nash, hustling back defensively as Streit, as Nash is there and delays. Jabbed one to the front, ricocheted off McDonald, sprawled at by Mason, and rifled back around by Hartnell. Rangers in the midst of a change, and the linesman says everything is cool. Didn't have too many.
That was smart play by the Rangers. They were telling Rick Nash, don't play the puck. They were yelling from the bench, trying to help their teammates out.
Back it comes to Boyle. Chance, score! Dorsett has made it 1-zip.
Rangers want to play fast, Flyers want to play fast. So one of the ways of playing fast, stretch pass. There's a stretch pass. They wave the icing off because it's a chip play. Aggressive forward check. You get on the puck, throw it on the goal. And Derek Dorsett, who started it all with the aggressive forward check right there on Mason, capitalizes on Brian Boyle's spinning feed to the slot. And whenever your energy guys get your goal early in the game, Doc, that's always a positive thing.
Held there by Luke Schenn and played back in. In a rivalry game and in a game that means so much in the standings with only about 2.5 weeks left in the season. It is only one, and it is early. 9 minutes have transpired in a 60-minute game or longer. But the Rangers have struck first, and that's important, and an offside is called on Hagelin on the pass. Boyle, the lone assist on the goal by Derek Dorsett. It's his 4th of the year. The Rangers' first of the night, 1-0. Watch out-of-market games with NHL Game Center Live. One subscription lets you watch on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and connected devices. Visit NHL.com/GCL. Derek Dorsett, 27 years of age, the scorer of the goal, played 3 years in junior hockey in Medicine Hat, where Bob Ridley, the bus driver, was also the broadcaster. I wonder if he got double dip on that. Can you imagine that, doing the broadcast, then jumping into the seat on the bus?
There's some long bus rides in that league too, Doc.
Offside is called. Time for Inside the Glass with Pierre, brought to you by Capital One.
Thanks very much, Doc. We're just talking about Derek Dorsett and his career with Medicine Hat Tigers. It was a lot of this. Physical at the point of attack. Ask Zach Rinaldo. Then taking a hit from Adam Hall, not retaliating, being smart, driving hard to the net, finishing plays off. 1 year in junior, he had almost 30 goals playing for Medicine Hat, but that same year, 295 penalty minutes. So he knows how to use his hands in a lot of different ways, Doc.
Boy, does he ever. This was flopped back ahead and chopped back in again by Pouliot, the only man with a game misconduct in the 3-game series. That was a major for boarding in one of the games in Philadelphia. Both of those were won by the Flyers, 2-1 and 4-2. The one here earlier in the year was won by the Rangers 4-1. Zuccarello, a shot that was forced wide because of the reach of McDonald. Craig Berube was saying this morning McDonald has brought the puck management and the ability to move it, as in a pass there that was shunted aside by Hartnell. And that helps them get out of trouble quickly. It's back into the Ranger end so that the defense can come off. This one forced around now by Girardi, kept by Hartnell, and a shot was deflected in front but off the defense of McDonough. Handed back up now to Miller. Miller walked it ahead. Delays and then played it around behind. It squibbed free, punched along by Hartnell. Read there, though, by Girardi, and handed around behind. Brassard trying to force to the front, and his shot was chopped away. Played on through, but back for McDonough. That one blocked by the defense of Timonen. Sent on back, and Voracek able to outreach. And so Voracek steams it ahead, and Giroux able to tap it on through so that the Flyers can make a change. Darting back on is Zuccarello, Norwegian-born winger, fired it on around now, and it's played by Stepan in front, and that one canceled around behind. Time again turning with it there, and this can be carried back up. Rushed right back ahead. Good carry across by Streit. Tried to play it on through, and without a stick, it's kicked aside by Diaz. Forced around behind away from Reed, and gotten by Couturier. Led to the back now for the walkover by Grossman. Delays. Hands it on across further. Mark Streit banks it around behind. McGinn trying to play it there, knifed away, and fed back ahead, and here comes Nash. Grossman drops back defensively. Nash there, crosses, and it's left behind.
Well played by Nicholas Grossman, who walked into the building today wearing almost a boot, a cast on his foot.
Lifted back along now by St. Louis. And plastered was Grossman.
Dorsett again, Doc, he's really making an impact early on here.
From rugged Western Canada and Kindersley, Saskatchewan. Nice town, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, they always are.
Well, it is.
Well, they are. They're good towns out there. They may be small, but they're good. This is floated ahead now for Boyle. Nicely through now for the turn by Dominic Moore. Back to Boyle. Could not control. finessed right back out again and can be carried ahead by Adam Hall. Hall with a wrister, snap, and then juggled but covered by Lundqvist. And more paws go up in the air, but play is stopped. 8:01 to go, first period of play. On the goal by Dorsett, the Rangers are ahead. Edward Jones FaceTime. Pierre is with Rangers head coach Alain Vigneault.
I know you like to play fast, but man, you're using the stretch pass as well. How hard was it to get your guys to buy into that?
Oh, not that hard. I mean, we've got a group that wants to learn, wants to get better, and they've been that way since day one.
You're going on a West Coast road trip. I know this is a big game in the standings. How do you make sure your guys maintain their focus?
It's not that hard against Philly. I mean, this is a great rivalry. Both teams play hard. It's been a good game, good night so far for both teams, and it's going to continue to be a battle.
I know there's a lot of highway before you get to Vancouver, but behave yourself when you're there.
Don't worry, I will.
Former coach of the Vancouver Canucks, Alain Vigneault, granting Pierre one of his longest interviews at Madison Square Park. Offensive zone face-off for the Flyers here, and it is one on back for the hold, and the peel-off, and the shot, and then a rebound. Oh, and Lundqvist with a strong save, made that time on Hall. Wow, that was spectacular on the part of Lundqvist. This is taken by Hall, filtered into some traffic off of Raffl and dealt back in, and so Mason will go together. Right-hand catching goaltender, fires it along now for Ronaldo. Kept to the point by Moore, fired, and a save made by Mason again on a blistering shot from Stahl. So it is controlled and weaving his way on out now, and nicely dancing free with it is McDonald. Handed on across for Ronaldo, who pivots. Ronaldo dropped it back on. It's allowed to go now for Braden Shen. Shen turning behind, away from a couple of Rangers, drops one to the slot. Simmons with a careful stop, tries to play to the boards. Still the duel on, and it has gotten out to center for Pouliot, but then crossed over by Coburn. The guy that plays the most for the Flyers, 22 and a half minutes. Braden Coburn sees this one go ahead, but we get a halt to plays.
Everybody's celebrating the greatness of Henrik Lundqvist, as they should. Here's an example of why. Face-off situation, won cleanly by Michael Raffl. Watch Adam Hall right here on the rebound. Henrik Lundqvist, athletic, stands up and bats that puck away into the slot. Get it on goal. Lundqvist tracks it through traffic, and then the defense there to help him out.
Henrik was saying this morning that he did that commercial for the Headache Remedy people. 8 hours of shooting, 3 trucks, and 50 people. It is different than just talking on radio, isn't it? That's quite a production that they got done. Sunday, after a tough start in Australia, 4-time world champ Sebastian Vettel tries to get back on track at the Formula One Petronas Malaysia Grand Prix. That's Sunday at 3:30 a.m. Eastern on NBC SN. One back by Richards, taken by Girardi. 6 3/4 minutes to go. First period of play. 1-0 on the goal by Dorsett. If the Rangers win in 60, it's a 3-point lead on the Flyers. Lundqvist stops and covers as driving toward him was Wayne Simmons.
Doc, I asked Alain Vigneault about the stretch passes of the New York Rangers. It's clearly become part of their repertoire. Stretch pass means long passes up there. He's Mark Stahl right off the boards, trying to get into the neutral zone for Benoit Pouliot. Here's another example. This is all from the first period, and it leads to quality opportunities for the New York Rangers. That time Hagel and Zuccarello. So it's been interesting to watch the game plan that Alain Vigneault's tried to implement with the New York Rangers and what Craig Berube's tried to do in terms of matchup and take some of that stretch passing away.
If you let him get away with it, he being the other coach, then he controls your bench. You don't want that.
No, sir.
Couturier in on this draw for Philadelphia. And it's one back, try to drive. Oh, and what a save. Come on. Word.
Doc, I'm right on the shooting angle. I'm right on the line of this shot by Mark Streit. He one-times his face-off win from Sean Couturier, and he didn't waste any time at all. And I don't know how Lundqvist gets to this thing. I really don't. It's dipping, it's fast, slow motion doesn't do it justice. You see the puck's on edge, and it drops down, and Lundqvist fights it off with his catching glove.
The career leader in wins here, saluted just this past week. Taken on now and dropped back deeper, moving back for it, and pivoting along is Streit, back up for Ty McGinn. McGinn took the hit, played it ahead. Couturier tried to force it on through. McGinn just now arriving back on the play. Jostles with Miller. Fed back by Streit. 6:10 to go here in the first. The Dorsett goal is the only one. Only 2 other games being played in the NHL tonight. We'll leave that to Liam McHugh and the guys back at headquarters to tell you about those. But here in the latter stages of the season, a quiet Wednesday night, followed by lots more action tomorrow. But you can never say it's a quiet night when it's Flyers-Rangers. Battled free off of Nash, thrown by Luke Schenn and turned aside by Lundqvist. Outletted but just behind Nash, and it will be chased down. Luke Schenn to get it there, swept it on. Voracek flies ahead with it, moves back up with Giroux. Voracek has Giroux breaking through one in front, geared back out by Lundqvist, just off the stick of McDonald. Rubs out his man, Nash flew it ahead, corralled by Luke Schenn. Luke Schenn sort of handcuffed McDonald, didn't he? But along to take this is Voracek. 10 shots Flyers, 6 shots Rangers. McDonough steps his way along. McDonough looking, trying to play one, but it is Giroux twisting it right on back again, and following up is Girardi. Cross-bodied a bit there. Girardi able to muscle it around behind, taken there by Dorsett, but that one chopped away so it can be lobbed right back out again. And everybody that touches the puck pays a certain price for it. St. Louis chased off there by Ronaldo, and along to get it is Girardi. Stood up a bit by Raffl, and it came loose for McDonough. McDonough hands on to Boyle and gets it back yet again. Fires it on for Boyle, and that went on through, and around it curled to be twisted on by Mason. So it's Timonen trying the other way, and in the way of that is Pouliot. Wanted it right back. Hagelin flew to it. Checked off by Coburn, who takes it right away. Drayton Coburn looks ahead and puts it on the stick of Adam Hall. The Michigan Stater ahead to flop one right back in again, and along it comes for Klein. Checked off and nudged ahead now for Diaz. Then back on for Pouliot, shanked off of Hagelin and corralled by Streit. Streit able to circle it across to Grossman. Grossman flew it out to center. Simmons protects. Gives it along for Braden Schenn. Cannot scamper free. Turned on back again, and it is Grossman. This is mostly defensive hockey here. Attack met by resistance. We had a moment when they were going back and forth a lot, which they can do effectively. But play is halted with 3:49 to go here in the first. You're watching Wednesday Night Rivalry presented by Coors Light. Let's take a look at the Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. The swap between Tampa Bay and the Rangers. 10 games played by Ryan Callahan in Tampa Bay. 2 goals, 4 assists. And Marty St. Louis, no goals, 3 assists. They're averaging close to the same amount of time on the ice.
I really think that man's going through what Jerome McGinley went through last year when he went to Pittsburgh. Jerome spent 16 years in Calgary. Marty spent 13 years in Tampa. They only knew one organization really as players, and it's a little bit of a transition when you spend that much time in one place and move to another place. That being said, Jerome didn't have a house in Pittsburgh. Marty has a house here, and I think he's getting more comfortable.
Makes sense. Well, is there a period of time that you just kind of put on that automatically you give them? Here's Simmons. Give you an answer on that in a moment. Simmons able to scale it on around near Grossman. Punched right back for Simmons. Taken along now by LeCavalier and knifed away from him by Miller. Pouliot gave it up. Grossman flipped one on. Sent in front. Simmons, a backhander blocked down. Good play there, and it's foisted on back to center ice as Strawman made the block. Follow up Pouliot on the bounce. It winds up going offside.
Well, the Flyers are putting some pressure on Henrik Lundqvist. They've had some good chances here in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Here's another one. Karam out front. Good defensive play by Strawman. And then from his nears, he clears it out into the neutral zone. And there's Anton Strawman, who made that real good defensive play. And you talked about Marty St. Louis, Doc. I think it's probably going to take him another week or two till he's fully acclimatized. Obviously, they're going on the road, but I think that will help him to get to know his teammates a little bit better.
Good point. You know, they say at the beginning of a year, when someone comes to a team new, you don't really judge all of that for about 20 games. Now, you don't have that kind of chance after the trade deadline, but I was just wanting a ballpark figure on what you'd think. Nicely turned away on the back end by Coburn from Lundqvist, and Coburn will get back quickly and chase this down. Played it along to Timonen, mashed there by St. Louis. Puck to the back, Girardi, handed across to McDonough. McDonough dips the shoulder trying to get away from Voracek. Then it's Girardi throwing one, and another try on the follow-through that wound up going wide. Sent right back across. Girardi again, and a shot blocked away by Coburn. What a strong defensive shift number 5 and White has had here. Down to the ice goes Timonen, and a penalty will be coming from that.
I think JT Miller's going to get called here. I think he took Kimmo Timonen down, and he's going to get a penalty. Donnie Van Massenhoven caught him below the icing line. A young player who's trying to make something happen, obviously. Would rather be in the National Hockey League than the American Hockey League. The per diem envelopes are just a little bit bigger. In a one-on-one joust with Kimmo Timonen, and that's called a can opener. He basically helps separate them down low. That's why they call it the can opener. I know it doesn't look like much, but it can definitely throw you off balance, and that's why he goes to the box.
Power play is sponsored by Husqvarna, and so East Palestine, Ohio's native is sitting in the penalty box. That's in Pittsburgh territory. Tangled here and battled for and got into the back now and walked on across by Timonen. Delays. Timonen sent it over. Given right back to him by Giroux, but he'll have to chase it down to center ice.
They can't make that play right now because the ice is starting to break up just a little bit, and there are a lot of bouncing pucks. You got to get it and put it on the net.
Carried ahead by Timonen, connects back onto Simmons, and Simmons marches on. Jostled off on the play, but continues to work. 13 power play goals out of the total of 24 by 17 in the white jersey. Popped around now for McDonough. Intercepted by Simmons. Shuffled to the back. Giroux gave it across. Timonen with it there. Looks. Gives on back to Giroux. Across now for the hold by Voracek. And a shot. Getting a piece of it. Lundqvist. Strong first period for the Ranger goaltender. Stashed along now for Giroux. Guided back up the boards and held by Voracek. Voracek looking an active power play for the Flyers here. Handed across to Giroux. Giroux delays. Simmons at the front. Save. Another one. Another save. Scramble in front. Voracek up with it. Brushed it around behind. 3 for Giroux. Looks to the back now. Giroux across. Oh, and a shot by Hartnell is blocked. Now it is Voracek. Leading it to the back to Timonen. Then to Voracek. Pass shoveled across from Hagelin to Boyle and down.
He had an equipment malfunction. His stick exploded. That's why he didn't get good wood on it, but still it was a rolling puck. That cross-seam pass, tough to make.
Impressive power play for the Flyers, though they haven't scored on it. Walked ahead now and played on for LeCavalier, and he chipped it on through. It is held by Braden Shen. Then across to Streit, fakes the drive, hands it over. Drive by McDonald is turned out by Lundqvist, and another one, a diving play by McDonald, kept it from going the length. 13 to go on the power play and 35 in the first period. McDonald able to pivot there and just marches right back, handing it on across, and offside was called.
Now, Doc, Henrik Lundqvist has faced 15 shots so far in this period. He's been letter perfect. This time he fights off that low pass from Andrew MacDonald. Secondary scoring opportunity. How about Wayne Simmons earlier? A little help from Ryan McDonough, but Henrik Lundqvist, big as a house, and McDonough almost closed his hand on the puck in the crease. That would have been a penalty shot, but Henrik Lundqvist, big as a house right now for the New York Rangers in goal with 15 stops.
It is McDonald, and the quality has been high on at least half. Half of 15, okay. A little over half. Math. Driven back off again by McDonough with 13 to go in the period. Full strength action here between the Flyers and the Rangers, guided right back along. Finessed on free by Couturier, taken on and shuffled back out of harm's way by Nash. Played in by Miller, and that'll do it on the first period. The shots were 15-6 Flyers. The goals 1-0 Rangers. Coming up on the Lexus Intermission Report, Liam, Mike, and Keith will look at the Rangers' attacking offense. Plus, is this Vancouver's last stand? It's out in the west, not far from Custer's. 20 minutes have been played. Dorsett from Boyle. The only scoring play at 8:41 of the first. 1-0 Rangers after 20. The NHL on NBCSN is brought to you by Lexus and their pursuit of perfection. By Golfsmith, we believe you deserve a store that would do anything for golfers. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. Here again in Madison Square Garden, second period is about to start. Ulf Samuelsson one of the assistant coaches for the Rangers, is 50 years old today. Congratulations to him. Jimmy Howard is 30. Alan Bester is 50. Robin Bawa, Michael Pekka is 40. There are some milestones. Trevor Kidd. And we also mention those past that we still miss, even though they're not with us anymore. Barclay Plager. Remember him in the days of 12 NHL teams. Gallant warrior in St. Louis. This was the date on which he was born.
Had the privilege of coaching his son Kevin down in the minor leagues and also coached Alfie. And Doc, a lot of players have gone through this league over history. Not sure there were too many that enjoyed the life of an NHL player as much as Alfie Samuelsson.
He was sort of a football player on skates, wasn't he?
And Jack Lambert, the old linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers, really developed and became a big fan of Alfie Samuelsson after he came over from the Hartford Whalers. And Doc, you talk about how he reaches a milestone of 50. There are a lot of people in Boston that didn't think he'd ever get there.
Oh?
After the Neely situation.
Oh, yes, I seem to recall. Anyway, this one is floated on now to be all called back on a delay or on a hand pass. And so we get a halt to action and a face-off coming back to center ice. So Dorsett from Boyle, the only goal scored in that first period of play, as the combatants about to go at it here in the second for a neutralized faceoff. Braden Shen as well as Brad Richards. Finessed on by Pouliot, canceled out a little bit by Timonen, thrown by Pouliot, and it's whacked away to the corner glass in a good hand-eye coordinated move by LeCavalier. Knifed on back to the point, dubbed a bit there by Stahl. Can be dragged on now by Simmons. Peels off, drops it back. Braden Shen to Simmons, and it's saved! And the rebound, oh, and it's loose there and chopped at. They try to blast it in, but cannot, and play is stopped.
Doc, I cannot believe this puck didn't go in. It gets caught between his pad, his skate, and I'm talking about the left pad and the left skate and the ice. Braden Shen and Wayne Simmons play pitch and catch. Stahl tries to clear it, but his skate puts it right into the skate and the pad of Henrik Lundqvist. Watch this. The skate to the stick. Look where it is. Right underneath the skate blade. I'm right on the angle. I saw that, and that's why I was able to call it. But look at Braden Shen whacking away. That's some unbelievable flexibility from Henrik Lundqvist. Not an easy thing to do.
The job itself is hard enough, but when you're off balance and trying to make a saving play like that and then able to do it, makes you major leaguer. Here's Voracek feeding one on for a shot by Hartnell, and another try that went wide. Voracek saw it lost. San Luis outlet, carried on by Nash, picks up Stepan and drops off to him. Stepan threw one across the net mouth wide, and here flies Giroux. Moving back up with Voracek, tried to play it on through to him, canceled out on a delayed offside, and laid back up now to San Luis. Here we go again, back and forth. Stepan with a shot pad block made by Mason. Flyers turn to move out. Rolling ahead with it now is Ty McGinn. Burrows into the corner, and around it is flexed into him now by McDonough, taken by Girardi, and handed on. Motoring right back up ice and throwing it in. Dropping it along the boards is Zuccarello. Got there, touched one to the outside that's blocked away and played by Luke Schenn. Through the legs along now to McGinn. Nudge drawn back now for Couturier. Floated back in, and he goes in right after it. Shoulders there with Diaz. Pushed it off the back of the cage. Zuccarello had it knifed away. Meanwhile, reached and punched back along further by Matt Reed. But that one curled back on and can be handed by the Rangers on out. Finessed ahead for the drop back in by Brassard. Brassard to the corner. Grossman there. Run into with effectiveness by Miller. And a pass came right back across away from Zuccarello. Tapped back in by Klein. Finessed around behind and trying to get to the front of the net is Brassard. And it's just held by Mason.
Don Keith Jones and Mike Milbury are talking about the Rangers taking away space. Watch Ryan McDonough. Right up here, he takes away the space from Claude Giroux. It's an aggressive, smart play, and it denies the Philadelphia Flyers a quality chance with Giroux and Voracek, and that leads to the stretch pass. Ryan McDonough having a fantastic year, a career year, and Doc, I really believe, I'm not saying he's going to win the Norris Trophy, because I think Duncan Keith will probably win that, but this guy's got to be in the conversation.
Well, the good thing, too, is if he doesn't win it, he will be 25 in June with a lot of other chances likely coming up. Finessed on now by Ronaldo and carried ahead now by Raffl, shooting one that's blocked down by Girardi, and it's curled and wheeled right into Lundqvist by Raffl. A nice anticipatory play by both men. Jabbed right back along again by Hall. Punched along by Girardi, who was rubbed out for his trouble there. Meanwhile, it comes back in deep where McDonald tries to get to it. Richards rode into him, and a two-a-side battle right near the Advil sign. Played along now for the rifle back behind by Stahl. A backhand, and it popped on further where it can be turned by Hall and out to center. Shift change for both teams. This is the period of the longer change, the more important defensive changes for the teams. And this one is dropped back in again where it can be played by Simmons. Harassed there by Dominic Moore. Played back ahead for the control and the play back across to Timonen. Careful off the boards play for Simmons. Whipped one back in that careened off the defense and away from Braden Shen. Pivoting back now and throwing it on is Dominic Moore. Walked on by Boyle. Here's Boyle with a shot. Nice right back down off of Timonen. Shaken up on the play, but we see that an awful lot, and he's a game trooper. Out there again, a small man to battle a big one in Boyle. Timonen working on him again, and it's played along for Dorsett. Dorsett turning, has Boyle drifting near the front, threw one there anyway, blocked aside by Mason, dug out along by Moore. Nice cancellation by Coburn, who's had a good game. Laid on to the back now for Girardi's shot, and that one wound up being blocked away by Mason, I think. May have careened off the post too, I'm not sure, but this is thrown back out again by LeCavalier and down and icing, and we'll get a chance to see a replay and see whether that got iron or not.
Well, a lot of bodies getting in front of Steve Mason. Brian Boyle has also played a good game, had an assist on the first goal. This goes right off the post. Girardi threw a maze of bodies, and watch it hit the post right there, Doc, on the outside part of the post, and Steve Mason will say, I was playing that. I was on the angle, and he was.
Part of the equipment. That would be a shot that glanced off the New York Post. Offensive right wing circle here for the Rangers, and waiting in is LeCavalier with all of that experience. Vinny LeCavalier in his 1,096th game tonight, 2 goals short of 400 in quite a career.
Yeah, he had 15 so far this year. Think about last year, he only had 10 goals with Tampa in 38 games.
Grossman ahead, slugged on by LeCavalier into Strawman, dug out by Stepan, played to the corner, popped up high by San Luis, and it went up into the mesh and out of play. Let's go inside the glass. Here's Pierre.
Thanks a lot, Doc. One of the reasons why it's 1-0 New York, this man, Henrik Lundqvist. King Henrik's been fantastic. He's faced 17 shots so far, and a lot of them have not been of the garden variety. No pun intended. He's had to fight off all kinds of down low traffic, shots from in tight. His glove has been really good, and right there, some unbelievable flexibility and strength. With the puck under his skate, Henrik Lundqvist has been a huge story here in this game tonight.
This far along in the season, only 2.5 weeks to go. Stepan flew this one back into McGinn. 84 points Rangers, 83 Flyers, positions 2 and 3 in the Metropolitan Division. Those are safe at the end of the season if you can get those. Then there are wild cards existing, and there are 4 teams that are trying to get 2 of those that are flat out tied with 80 points apiece. Detroit, Toronto, Columbus, and Washington. Icing is called. Hey, speaking of other teams, let's look at what's coming up on NHL Network. Chicago at Boston, then Boston, Philadelphia Sunday afternoon at noon. Chicago and Pittsburgh that night. And Boston and Detroit the following Wednesday night rivalry. Original 6 at Joe Louis Arena, where the Boston Bruins are leading the entire East. And the Detroit Red Wings valiantly battling with a lot of injuries through them, trying to get points as a shot by Voracek was deflected just wide of the post and drew an ooh from the crowd here. Right back ahead, it's nudged on by San Luis, taken on by Nash. Marching right in, tucked one that's canceled back out by Mason in a good defensive play and a strong play by the goaltender. Rushed right back in by Nash, given on over for a shot, turned aside by Mason from the stick of Brassard and flown on back to center. Touched across to Girardi. That one ricocheted right back in again. Headed back for it is McDonald. Good crunch on him by Miller. J.T. Miller able to hand it along to the point. Held there by Girardi. A shot floated along and kicked across where it can be rushed on by McDonough. McDonough shot. He scores! McDonough!
the Montreal Canadiens ever made. Ryan McDonagh for Scott Gomez. And here's an example of why, not even 25 years of age yet, left-hand shooting defenseman who can play defense and absolutely rip pucks with quick releases like that. That's just a spectacular goal from a brilliant young player, former Wisconsin Badger. I guess you're always a Badger, Doc. And a kid that played his high school hockey at Cretin-Derham High School in Minnesota. What a player, what a finish, what a champion guy.
2-0 in an important game at Madison Square Garden as this is floated on back. Strike, and that went through a couple of reaches, one aside. And so Mason. Luke Schenn forced deeper, played it on to Strike. Tries for Ronaldo. Good aggressive work by Klein. Ronaldo breaks this. Pass up the wing, carried on by Raffl. Has a man breaking Hall. Finessed it on now to Ronaldo and swept one that ricocheted off a Ranger defender and wide of the post.
Ranger wingers better be aware the Flyers are starting to jump their defense. Look where Mark Streit is on the forecheck right there.
Touched on a cross and some trouble there. Meanwhile, it is protected pretty well and hacked in by Richards. Jump the defense, Pierre. What does that mean?
Jump in and try it like Brayden Coburn's doing here. He'll probably distribute the puck and just get up the ice. They're trying to create a lot of offense from their defense.
Have an icing here, sure enough. 13:20 to go in the second, 2-0 in favor of the Rangers. Call ** NHL to download NHL Game Center and get a free premium upgrade only on Verizon. Enjoy exclusives like free live NBC national games. Never be without hockey.
One of the most impressive things about Ryan McDonagh at the Olympics, Doc, was his ability on big ice to play on the right-hand side. He's a left-hand shot. He broke into the league playing on the left side. He played the right side in the Olympics for Danny Bilesma and Team USA, and I thought he was absolutely outstanding. And I think our good friend Eddie Olczyk, who coached him, would appreciate just how well McDonagh's playing.
While play was stopped, Timonen did leave, and he did have blocked that shot. It was very painful, and we've seen him do that so many times. Sometimes he leaves, sometimes not. Tonight he did. And in the past, he has often returned. We always like to see everybody healthy to play. I know it's Pollyanna, but that's how we feel, so we hope he returns. Meanwhile, this is Coburn able to send it ahead. Marched on by Lecavalier, floated back ahead now for Brayden Schenn. You have a sense that the next goal is critical in this contest. This is swatted on now by Coburn. Kick free by Moore, taken on by Boyle. Shunted, and a good deflection away by the goal stick held by Mason. Cleared back down and no icing on this play. Both teams will take this opportunity to make a change, at least at forward. Coburn steps up on this one. Dorsett able to wand it back in, and it's snapped up and held by Mason. 12 and a half to go, second period of play. The Rangers have scored yet a second time. It is McDonagh celebrating the second goal to zip.
Welcome back to New York and Madison Square Garden. Usually that man is calm, cool, and collected. Not after his team fell behind 2-0. He's challenging virtually everybody in white and orange on the bench, and I can't blame him. They can't feel sorry for themselves at this point. They played relatively well, but they were sitting back the last couple shifts. Kind of get hard on it again.
Carried back ahead by Matt Reed. Moves up with Couturier. Threw it in, went in to get it. Punched around behind. McGinn saw that took a crazy bounce off the board. Played ahead by St. Louis and canceled out by the reach of McDonald. And McDonald saw that one fly right by him. Luke Schenn tries to play there. Duels with St. Louis. Flipped on along for Nash. Nash dropped it back. St. Louis with it there. Wheels and drops it on, hoping for Nash. And along McDonald, crushed by Nash. Taken along by St. Louis, shoved off by Luke Schenn. Wedged on back to the point and hurried to the corner by Kevin Klein. And a shift change for the Rangers. Worked back on by Luke Schenn and stashed ahead for a little chip by Reed. Floated on by Klein. Walked on by Zuccarello. Fakes the drive, moves in and shoots one, and that blocked up away. And along it comes now to Couturier. Drags it ahead. Protects pretty well and slugs it back in. A shift change there for Craig Berube's Flyers. 11:20 to go, second period. The shots 17-13 in favor of the Flyers, but only 2 for them this period. The Rangers have 7 as well as a goal. Handed on now to Grossman. That may also explain. Zuccarello holds, side of the net play is shut off by Grossman and played back down. They also explain what you were saying, Pierre, about Mason challenging his team.
Well, Doc, Claude Giroux's usually a lot better than this. And you know he's trying to press and make something happen. Tries to get too cute in his own zone. Matt Zuccarello with the opportunity tries to get it to Derek Brassard. In a pretty good piece of defense, but for Claude Giroux, he knows he's got. You can't be soft on a puck like that in that area, and he knows it.
You don't have to usually tell him twice.
No, sir.
He usually knows it himself without being told. He feeds this one on ahead, and it's rifled back in by Hartnell. Curled on around now for Pouliot. Pouliot able to bang it on out to center. Hagelin wanted to play ahead off of Hartnell to Voracek and back into Giroux. Loaded that one around behind. It's brushed on by Voracek and taken further. Marching back ahead, Hagelin able to wrist it to the corner. Played there by Grossman. Off of Pouliot. Turned around by Hagelin. Nicely controls. Led it on to McDonough. Rifle it around behind and stepping to this now. And being run into is Adam Hall by Girardi. Touched on across. McDonough covering up here. Works back in deep again. The Rangers are working in deep against the Flyers here. And their defense just moves right back along. This is thrown along now by Richards, who dropped back defensively. Taken along by Hagelin. Michigan product got it back. Strawman plays it there. Richards to Hagelin. Canceled out by the reach of Hall. State against Michigan. Thrown ahead now for the play back in by Hartnell. And more changes in line. So it's Strawman. Sailing it on back on the bounce. It's squibbed on through and can be handled further.
No Kimmo Timonen yet, Doc. Andrew McDonough playing with Coburn.
Swatted away by the reach of Mason. We don't see him beyond the glass either wanting to come back on. He must do it from the corner. Here's a backhander by Simmons that is steered away by Lundqvist. Played along by Strawman. Chopped one further and taken by Simmons. Simmons able to pull away with it. Dropped it back on for the pass back to the point that's guided on across to McDonald. McDonald angled one that's a shot pass twisted by Ronaldo. Shut off by Lundqvist. Played by Simmons. Taken along by Raffl to Simmons in front. Down to the ice he went. Meanwhile, tangled up with a stick. He's able to forecheck behind. Turned back along by Stahl, and then it is Strawman, and shaken back out as far as center, and McDonald with it. Bit of a surge here by the Flyers, at least generating some attack in deep. Trickled along away from Miller, flown back out by Stepan, booted aside by Coburn. 8:40 to go, second period of play. The standings position at stake. Rangers have second, Flyers want it. A drive off the post, a rifle by Diaz, and rattled on around, but flagged down there by McGinn and protected enough that it is McDonald starting it back the other way. Are you a believer in omens when pucks hit the post? Here's a chance now for Couturier, laid it over hoping for Reed. If you are sitting with a blue shirt on at your house, you probably are not. If you have orange in your bloodstream, check with a doctor, but you probably are believing in that and hoping it will turn things around for the Flyers. It's taken along now by Zuccarello, rifled on across now for the take and the march back in by McDonough. The scorer of the second goal in this game for the Rangers, Girardi, across now for a shot. Oh, and then Mason collided with another shot, and he is almost prone, but is able to stop it on the carom and play halted. A wild set of collisions there. You're watching Wednesday Night Rivalry, presented by Coors Light. Edward Jones FaceTime. Pierre is with Flyers head coach Craig Berube.
Matt Zuccarello just ran over your goaltender. What was your take on the play?
Well, it should have been a penalty, but, you know, we got to keep working. I think we got to do a better job on our own end on the walls right now. They got us hemmed in there. We're not doing a good job on the walls, turning too many pucks over.
I see you usually calm, cool, and collected on the bench. During the last TV timeout, you were pretty animated. What made you so animated?
Well, I thought we played a good first period, and we didn't stay with it in the second. We let them take the game over here. They're more aggressive with us. Like I said, we're not doing a good enough job on the walls in our end.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Starting to improve in shots. They've gone from just a couple now up to 4, 19 in the game. The Rangers have had 9 in this period for a total of 15 in the tilt. It's not always indicative, but sometimes it does show you something. as Lundqvist sets this one up behind, and Stahl is pressed pretty well. Braden Shen reaching in is doing the job on Stahl with Simmons, and it is controlled along by Dominic Moore. Harvard All-American saw this one go on to Dorsett. Yes, Pierre.
I was just going to say, Kimo teaming it back on the bench for the Flyers.
Good news there. Around behind it is touched on, but blocked free by Grossman and dragged on now by Braden Shen. Marching on with LeCavalier. Shen able to move in an onside play. A wrister is geared right back out again by Lundqvist. Settled down enough to be played by Girardi to Boyle and cleared out of play into the Flyers bench area. And Braden Shen and Boyle have words coming by as Simmons. And that will be that.
Henrik Lundqvist with a great glove save again. Braden Shen going wide on Derek Dorsett. Lundqvist fights it off. During that last gathering of the clans, you had Brian Boyle, Wayne Simmons, and Braden Shen. Doc, I know you know the answer. Skill testing question. What team drafted all three?
Los Angeles?
That would be correct.
Once in a while I get them, Pierre. When I'm on the spot like that, I get all nervous and I reach for the stomach bottle here. It's a product probably that we haven't as a sponsor, but it's nice to have those tablets to stop the agita. Along now comes Luke Shen, pivoting it on. Flyers bringing it a little bit more now than they were, and they certainly need to. This one ricocheted on across and came on back now for the throwback on to McDonough. Cleared along. Oh, and was San Luis ever hit? Gets back to his feet. Knocked away by Girardi and controlled back and thrown in by the captain, Claude Giroux. Lundqvist tipped that one on. It is worked along by McDonough and then on back. And then it is off of Nash. The Kings are playing really well, especially away from home. They've recorded 7 straight wins, and they are third in the Pacific Division. Third, again, is one of those good spots. 1, 2, or 3, but then you get really nervous when you're trying to get the 4th one because of wild card.
Speaking of fourth, Mike Richards is their 4th center right now.
Snapped up and held by Mason. It's quite a bit of strength down the middle, isn't it? 2-0 in favor of the Rangers.
Welcome back to New York. That's a pretty special partnership. Ryan McDonough and Dan Girardi. Let's look at the body of work from Ryan McDonough tonight. Defensively helping out Henrik Lundqvist down low. Doesn't close his hand on the puck. Takes away time and space from Claude Giroux. Nice defensive play and then says, I'll take it and I'll finish it. Something special from Ryan McDonough.
McDonough discovered, as Pierre mentioned earlier, by Montreal in the first round of 07. Dan Girardi discovered by no one when it came to the draft, a free agent signing of the Rangers, so they were alert on that one.
Came from a high-end program too. The London Knights won a Memorial Cup in 2005 against Sidney Crosby, who were mushy Oceanic.
A great chance. Oh, and another one, and sprawling was Lundqvist. The Flyers starting to pound a little bit in deep. And so an offensive zone face-off for them.
You know, Craig Berube wanted his team to push back, and they are. It shows the respect they have for the coach. First is Michael Raffl, then Adam Hall. Chunky rebound. Henrik Lundqvist going from his left to his right. Just shuts it down. Make the initial save, yes. Watch the push-off coming across. That's lightning quick from Henrik Lundqvist against Adam Hall.
Just turned 32 years of age. Lundqvist peers out at another offensive zone face-off for the Flyers. Braden Shen, Brian Boyle. Off the tie-up, knifed around behind and rifled on further. Chipped on out by Dorsett, popped along, and we get a stoppage of play. So this was on Monday. Henrik Lundqvist, honored as being the winningest goaltender and shutout leader. The family was here. Mike Richter and Eddie Giacomin were here. The guitar was here. And teammates were here.
Doc, you know that guitar?
Yes.
I'm sure he'll use it with one of our friends, John McEnroe, who sometimes does a little guitar playing with Henrik Lundqvist, a little jam session.
John is a terrific fan of hockey. And his temperament would have been great for hockey, especially in the era that he played tennis. Because the era in hockey allowed for a lot more of that than it does now. How'd I do on that? Okay.
Well done.
4:58 to go in the second. 2-0. The score, the Rangers ahead, and these are some of the legends in Rangers hockey history. Some of them wore the same number, but they are shared and retired for good.
What's a common thread with all those numbers, Doc? Gentlemen. Every single one of those guys is an amazing gentleman.
Enough. Here's McDonald driving this one back in. And a trigger pull in front, and that had to be guided away by Lundqvist, as right at the front of the net was Matt Reed. Kept there. Drive by Couturier, and a save by Lundqvist. So the ice is starting to tip a little bit here on the 5th floor of the Garden. This is thrown along by McDonald, taken by Couturier, spiked on back.
I think they really responded to Craig Berube's message of Philadelphia Flyers. You can see him pushing ever since the first TV timeout of the second period when he challenges players to be better. They've responded. He wants a bigger, closer gap. He wants his defenseman coming up closer. That's what he's talking about as he talks from the bench to a guy like Andrew MacDonald and a player like Luke Schenn. By the way, Luke Schenn's parents, mother and father, first time they've ever been to a game at Madison Square Garden to watch their 2 boys play. They'll watch Luke and Braden play Friday night against Toronto, then they'll fly home to Saskatoon.
That game against Toronto is in Philadelphia. They will notice a difference in the crowds at the 2 places. This one is helped back out and will be taken by Girardi. Sellouts in both places, but a little different tenure. Here is Richards. Oh, and what a save made by Mason. If the next goal belongs to the guys in white, we will be thinking of that grab there.
Andrew MacDonald gets aggressive. He does what the coach wants, cross and drop between Hagelin and Richards. There's the cross and drop and a quick shot. Steve Mason just snags that out of the air. That's great hockey all around.
Off the faceoff can be taken by the Flyers and geared back out. Off of Hartnell, it's picked up by St. Louis, knifed away from him by Grossman, and punched on, but right to McDonough, and a save, and then swatting at it was Mason. Turned around now by St. Louis, and the pass misfires. And so it can be carried back out by Voracek, handed on to Giroux, given back up to Hartnell, shooting, and that one blocked, and so steered back the other way by St. Louis. Nash back, flings one that is off the blocker of Mason. Nash chased off, though, by the strong work of Mark Streit. Pass is checked loose by Nash. Nash has a man in front. It is Moore. Lobs it around for him, and Moore able to take it. On his backhand, led to the point. Given on across by Stahl. Strawman pats it back in there. Stymied was Streit. Meanwhile, it's taken on now by Moore. Watched by Grossman. Dominic Moore held up along the boards. Can be taken further by Dorsett, the scorer of the first goal tonight. 2-0 the score in favor of the Rangers. To the back, Boyle a shot. Blocked right back out in front by Mason. Starting to this one is Voracek, able to backhand it out as far as center. And some tired Flyers out there and more jostling. Having to wait now for Dorsett to get onside with the Rangers. So it must be given up to Mason. This is all on a delayed offside. And it ricocheted loose off of Raffl, and now it is touched, and we get a halt to play.
Doc, when you're good, you're good. Ryan McDonough is really good. Watch this read down low right there. There's one good read by Ryan McDonough. Get it on goal. Same sequence, different situation. Read, react, get your stick in position. Break up a 3-on-2. Just so aware. Just so darn aware. His college coach, Mike Eaves, must be watching saying, way to go, kid.
Mike Eaves of the Big Ten champion Badgers, as Mason will tend to some paraphernalia here. Neutralized faceoff with a 2-0 lead for the Rangers. One man chased out, another comes in. One back to the Rangers, blasted back in again by Diaz. Around it comes for the jab back by Timonen. So he's not only back at the bench, he's healthy and out there, and he takes this pass and motors back out. Timo Timonen flopped it back in, going in after it is Ronaldo. Checked there by Zuccarello and plastered to the boards. Ronaldo back to his feet, seems okay. Meanwhile, Raffl can't make a play there, and it came on for a feed across that is rescued by J.T. Miller. Angle pulled back in again. No icing on the play. Coburn takes over there. Miller harasses Coburn. Puck played on now for Ronaldo. Tries to get to center. And the shoulder helped. Raffl able to gain the zone. Got it on to Simmons. Toe drag and a shot is deflected up and out of play.
See, Henrik Lundqvist just tapped Rafi Diaz on the pads. Nice job blocking that shot by Wayne Simmons. And it shows you a goaltender is really in the game. Rafi Diaz coming over from the Vancouver Canucks earlier this year, played for the Montreal Canadiens. And as Doc talked about, was an international player for the Swiss.
They're always good defensively, aren't they? Scores tend to be low. Of course, Jonas Hiller helps when you have guys of that caliber that can tend the net for you.
And Ralph Kruger for years did a really good job with them as a national team coach. He helped Canada this year as a Canadian born in Manitoba with big ice tactics.
Richards saw that one punched away by Mason. Turning around behind and run off was LeCavalier. Came off him again, LeCavalier, but it is Richards. Former teammates in Tampa Bay for a championship. Around behind, it is taken out by Hagelin and pushed off the stick of Mason, so it can be the Flyers to outlet. Trying to fight through, it is Simmons. Jostles with Strawman. Fed back on nicely, right on the turning stick of Richards. Swept back to him. Richards, a shot that is covered by the netminder Mason. Elsewhere in hockey tonight, in the American Hockey League in Lewiston, Maine, the Worcester Sharks, as we see just a slight disagreement, and that is parted now. The Worcester Sharks are playing the Portland Pirates, and Roy Sommer has broken the record by the legendary late Frank Mathers of games coached in the American League. 1,257 games. Congratulations to him. He is a native of Oakland, California, and got his start with the Albany Choppers as a coach, played and won a championship for assistant coach of the Flyers, John Paddock, in Maine in 1984. It is a long career, a lot of bus rides, a lot of success. Congratulations to Roy Sommer. Here it is held by Girardi and scaled around. Giroux jabbed that one free, and it popped up and hopped on for Grossman. Trigger pull from Stepan, who was protecting, and then the Flyers are able to nudge it back as far as Girardi. That usually means it's going the other way, and it did for a bit, didn't it? Couturier stepped into by Girardi, and so it's pushed on now to San Luis. San Luis pass on the money for Nash. Nash drags and bulls his way and shoved it just wide. That is a power forward move personified. Thrown by Stepan, blocked down, and can be carried back up now by Reed. Led up the wing in the final 35 seconds to Giroux, who pivots, picks up reinforcements, throws it back in deep. Swirling around with this to the outside is Reed. Got it on to Giroux, had trouble finding the handle, and his shot is blocked aside by Lundqvist. On back to Giroux. Hands it on across now for Timonen. Timonen tried to slip it on through, no luck, and so it's brought back in the last 15. Punched along and reached out by Dorsett. Dorsett right around. Can't get the shot pulled because of Streit. 7 left in the period. Settled down by Stahl. Given across, and that'll do it on period 2. A goal in the first for Dorsett. A goal in the second for McDonough. 2-0 Rangers. Coming up on the Discover Card Intermission Report, Liam, Mike, and Keith on the impressive blue shirt, blue liners, plus the Canucks hanging tough in Minnesota. 25 shots, Flyers, 10 in that period. 23, Rangers, 17 in that period. 40 minutes played, 2-0 the home team. The NHL on NBCSN is brought to you by Just 4 Men Auto Stop, the foolproof way to get rid of gray. By the new P3 Portable Protein Pack. It's the original protein. It's Oscar Mayer. And by Verizon, the official wireless partner of the NHL. 2-0 Rangers started the third period here in New York City. Time for fast recovery presented by Advil, Pierre.
Henrik Lundqvist, you talked about a recovery. How about that one, Doc? From his left to his right, shutting it down on Adam Hall. That's pretty speedy and a very nice recovery.
Advil, as fast as it is strong. And he is the guy who did the commercial for Advil. He's given the Flyers headaches and anything else obvious that you could say about his performance tonight, but it is 2 periods. The Flyers are 3rd best in the league at scoring third-period goals. They are tied with Chicago for 2nd, and Boston the only team that has gotten more in the 3rd. However, the Rangers are 4th out of 30 teams at allowing few goals. So dueling stats. LeCavalier, with some stats of his own, laid this one on a cross, and it is rifled on for the slowdown by Pouliot, and Hagelin a shot that snapped up and held by Mason.
Now, Doc, I was listening to Liam, Keith, and Mike talk in between periods 2 and 3, and the one guy that can make a difference here to start it is Craig Berube. Maybe you juggle your lines, maybe you change a little bit in terms of your defense becoming more active, but something to generate more consistent flow on Henrik Lundqvist. Lundqvist has been a huge story because there haven't been a lot of second chance opportunities, 1 or 2, but not as many as you'd like to see.
Striding ahead for this, Couturier canceled out by Diaz, reaches while prone and nudged one on that is taken on further by Stralman.
Here's one of the changes. Michael Raffl going with Sean Couturier and Reed, not time again.
Chopped along by Grossman, but he was canceled out. Then it's flexed on by Zuccarello and carried ahead. Brassard dropped it back in. Miller took it there. Miller to the back drive, and that one deflected wide. A rifle shot there by Kevin Klein. Started ahead now for Matt Reed, and Reed a shot, waffle boarded, and then gloved toward the net by Stride, and gloved right back again by Lundqvist, and meanwhile it's Miller.
Adjustment number 2, defenseman jumping in. That was Mark Stride on the tip of the goal crease in front of Henrik Lundqvist, a defenseman, making it a 4-on-2.
Were they doing that as much earlier? This is a giveaway here, and then left behind by Voracek, tries to dance free, got it on back now for McDonald's shot, and getting a piece of that through a screen was Lundqvist. Tipped on further now and played along by Strite, and then we get a stoppage of play, and an offside is called.
Now, Doc, you were talking about it. They're starting to do it more and more. There's Matt Reed taking it wide. Mark Strite off of Raffl, getting to the net and using his hand. That would have been no goal for batting it in. And this is Ryan McDonagh, an awkward block. He was limping just a little bit on that last point shot from Andrew MacDonald.
Voracek saw that go off his stick, hustles back in, canceled out and rocked a bit to the glass by McDonagh. They reach out to play it again, and Voracek one-handedly, and now 2 hands, and he's taken down, and there'll be a power play coming up to the Flyers from all of that.
Ryan McDonagh is going to be the guilty person. Jake Voracek thought he was getting called. He's yelling at Dan O'Halloran. He thought, oh, they're calling both. They're going to call both. So McDonagh's going to get that there.
27 for the Rangers.
For a trip to McDonagh. Oh, they're calling Voracek for embellishment, unsportsmanlike conduct.
Wow.
That's a tough one, Doc, because that stick is right in the back of Jake Voracek's leg. You see him pointing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that strikes you as a little unusual, doesn't it? Looked like he was going down because of the foul, but at any rate, 4 against 4 here in front of the netminder, Lundqvist. Boyle moves in to take this draw with Couturier.
Doc, players on both benches just said to me, that's a tough call on Voracek.
Here's Coburn shooting, and that one just grabbed and held by Lundqvist. Voracek embellishment, McDonagh tripping at 1:53. The 4 against 4 gets underway here too. Look at this.
Let's just see. Watch the stick of McDonagh right into the leg. I mean, I don't see him flaunting or diving. He just gets that foot pushed off the ice.
This is on back now to Coburn. He twists and motors off. Came loose behind and then is played back along. Timonen rifled it behind, taken on further, and then jostled off was Couturier. Reached again though and played it on to Matt Reed, spiked away from him. Jabbed on by Coburn, and then right back out in front can be started ahead by Brad Richards. Moves along with Boyle. Boyle comes to the bench. Richards delays. Fresh set of Rangers out there. Girardi ahead now, and Richards wedged off of him by Couturier, coming along as McDonald. McDonald still persists, and it's jabbed on back. So it is Coburn. And then it is Reed. So the 4-on-4 not generating a lot. Carried right back now and walked on by McDonald. Floated high. Settled down by Simmons. Rocked a bit there by Strawman. Played back up for San Luis. And on a cross. Nudged on to Hagelin. Flies back for San Luis. In the way of Simmons. Back the other way for the Flyers. Trying to finesse through. Gains the zone and peels off. Simmons swings one that's blocked away by the Ranger defender. Guided right back. Girardi on Simmons. Girardi's the guy that blocked that wheeling shot. Simmons gave it to the back. McDonald punched it across. Giroux with a shot there that got the glass. Through 2 periods, Giroux was not recorded a shot on goal. Held there by Streit. Punched around in front. Giroux able to reach that one. Stymies enough that Streit can come by and help. And Streit with this. Streit elevators one that Giroux can give across to McDonald. McDonald again, and that one flexed back out again by Girardi, who comes to the bench for a change with 5 left on the 4-against-4. Giroux with a good reach there to flex it back in and stall to take.
Part of why Giroux doesn't have any shots, Dan Girardi, Ryan McDonough. Rangers get last change. Liam and Mike were talking about it with Keith. That's a big problem for that top line of the Flyers.
Brayden Schenn along now for LeCavalier. LeCavalier trying to step free. Flexed it along, can be taken though, and outlet it on to Nash, and Nash flies a down and out pass that will careen right in on Mason, who just grabs and holds. Download the NBC Sports Live Extra app to watch the game live on your phone or tablet. The NBC Sports Live Extra app on NBCSports.com/Live Extra and NHL.com. On this date in 1992, the Rangers won their first regular season NHL title in half a century. That was in 1992, 2 years before the championship. And on this date in 1980, Tony Esposito of the Chicago Blackhawks was the first guy to have 8 30-win years. Henrik Lundqvist is looking at his 8th 30-win year if he can get this one. Tie up behind to a side, and it squirts loose to a 5th man, and that's McDonald. McDonald able to step right back ahead and filter a pass on that's guided back in. Flying in is McGinn, taken by Hall and pushed off of Lundqvist. Played right back across again and can be held and blasted right back in by McDonald off the back of the cage. McDonough back along but cut by McGinn. Thrown in front and blocked down by McDonough. McGinn goes around behind. Feeds one back up now for Luke Schenn. Schenn shot is blocked down, and a chance for Zuccarello. Closed off by McDonald and canceled out. Zuccarello did not get much of a shot on that as his stick failed him.
What a great effort by Andrew MacDonald to come back.
On comes Giroux. Giroux dealt it across. Hartnell able to come up with it and spin. Points it on back. Drive by Streit is blocked away. Grabbed there by Boyle. Floated back out to San Luis, and he gains the zone. Drops it back. Stall and drive, and it's eaten up on that Flyer crest by Mason.
Well, Doc, you were talking about the block. Derek Dorsett with a big block, but how about the effort of Andrew MacDonald right here? He has to come all the way from the left-hand side of the ice to catch Matt Zuccarello. Does a great job, and then the equipment malfunction, Doc.
Yeah. Wood is good, but it is a part of our past. Very much like Bearheads and small contracts. Offensive zone face-off for the Rangers here. Brad Richards wades in on this draw with Couturier. And dropped unfairly. So they will try it yet again. Couturier, I mentioned earlier, not that I went to barber school, but he said this morning, the beard doesn't really bother me much. Boy, it looks like it would bother a lot of people, but he said, no, it's gotten past the scratchy point now. And he looks a little more like Hartnell than Hartnell did. At one time, this is rifled back in. Hartnell has gone for a very neat look, and like Samson, only in reverse, he has had a better year after cutting his hair. Enough of this. Pouliot gives on now to Richards. Richards to Pouliot! Oh, and what a save by Mason on Pouliot.
The Flyers are trying to push the pace. but they turn the puck over in the neutral zone. Then it's a quick counterattack. Here's a turnover coming in the neutral zone from Braden Coburn. Quick counter, cross, drop, and quick release. See Benoit Pouliot, he's ready to snap the trigger, and he does, and Mason fights it off. Doc, I have to tell you, Benoit Pouliot was a 4th overall pick in his draft year by the Minnesota Wild. This is the best I've seen him play in the National Hockey League.
He shares the power play goal lead for the New York Rangers with half a dozen this year. Here's a feed back for McDonough, and that one blocked back down, and they hustle back after it. Girardi hoping to get there. Hartnell there, and he jostled him off. Up to the back and kept alive into some traffic there. Dug free. It is Schenn able to guide it on back, and Hartnell will be there to get it. Swept along by Giroux to Hartnell. Hartnell turning, roughed up a bit by McDonough. Pivots, McDonough on him again. And then shoves him again. It's knifed onto the point. Grossman across. Streit has to hold. Wanted the one-timer, couldn't do it. Grossman a shot! And that one blocked away off of Hartnell, and he is in pain. And this one careened back down, and he can't get even to his feet, let alone to the bench. And play is stopped.
Oh, man, this gets him in a real bad spot. There's not a lot of padding here. The fans not happy with this.
In pain, play stopped, 2-0 home team.
Come back to New York. Tough 20-second sequence for Scotty Hartnell. Danny Girardi puts him down. And then later on, friendly fire. Nicholas Grossman blasts away. Scotty Hartnell gets it in a rough spot. There's no padding there, and he's down and out. He comes over, and he's not happy. He thought he was interfered with, and he's telling Donnie Van Massenhoven that.
Two of the more experienced referees, Don Van Massenhoven, Dan O'Halloran. An imperfect science, and they are always listening to people that want to help them. Usually they're players, and so you don't...
Look out.
Well, that was a pass that looked like it had something going for Lecavalier from Brayden Schenn, and no.
What a play by Derek Brassard coming back, Doc. He's the guy that said no. What a play by Brassard.
Fed on across now for the control of Stahl. Gave it right up at center ice on for Brayden Schenn. Wanted to play it across, I beg your pardon, Lecavalier, and this one tucked across and back checked away there by Coburn. Fed on off of Lecavalier. Punched right back ahead, and on comes J.T. Miller. Miller with a series of head fakes, delays, wanted to lay it across, decided to go in deep, and it's played along further. Now by Dorsett. Crunch was Miller, more banging along, and it is away from Dominic Moore. Played back ahead for a trigger pull there. That strips over the line! Mason got some of it, but not all. 3-0.
Second goal for the depth players of the New York Rangers. It was Derek Dorsett starting it out, and now it's Dominic Moore. And for Steve Mason, this is a 1-1 on his highlight reel going forward. Aggressive forecheck again by the Rangers. Dorsett hard on it, throwing at the goal, and I think Dominic Moore just deflects it right there. It's just, you can read the label as it goes across the line. That whole sequence, Doc, could have been different if Derek Brassard hadn't had a very good stick and a real diligent back check.
The small things wind up being so big, don't they? Seemed like an ordinary sort of thing, even though you pointed it out right at the time as special. Made all the difference, and so now it is a 3-goal deficit, and the important goal that we were waiting for went to the Rangers. And the Flyers will have to be in chance-taking mode with a little under 12 minutes to go, down by 3. Feed to the front, canceled out, taken along to the outside, and fed now for the protection of Reed. Reed able to nicely squirrel it away and give back to Luke Schenn, then across off McDonald's stick and to center. Carried right back in again by Couturier, finessed away from Reed, crunched off there by Boyle. Back across now for Pouliot. Pouliot able to motor further, dropped it back to Girardi, and that one deflected away. Can be handled on by Brad Richards, swept around behind. Klein with the lone assist on the goal by Dominic Moore at 7:39 for Moore, his 6th goal of the year. Wayne Simmons charges ahead, has Hartnell right nearby. Has to chase it down, though, and swept on to the turning stick. Nudge back on to Hagelin. Watched by Simmons, and back along it comes for Mason to set it up. Punched on across for the carry back up by Claude Giroux. Backhands it in. Off the boards it goes to Simmons, who drove one, and that one would not work. So it's Nash just dumping it calmly back.
Different line. Voracek not on the ice. Wayne Simmons with Giroux and Hartnell.
Rattled right back in again, and around it curled near Giroux. Fed away by Nash. Protected by Stahl, who was roughed up. It came on to Simmons, and then along to Strallman. St. Louis. Set up by Simmons, and while falling, played it on further. Great reaction play for him, and he stepped into Nash, who was trying to wedge it on. Simmons charges around behind. Taken along by Stahl, given back out to center, and Timonen coming to the bench for a change, so McDonald is fresh from the bench to take it. 10 minutes to go in the third. Shots even at 28. The goals by Dorsett, McDonough, and Moore. So the guys on the marquee have not scored. But as Pierre was pointing out, guys that you don't normally see score have contributed heavily for the home team. Finessed away, and it's McDonald laying one along. Braden Shen helping it further, punched along by Girardi and sent up high again by Braden Shen. Chopped along by LeCavalier, wants to get further, cannot. On comes JT Miller, trying to finesse it by, and no luck there because of McDonald. Laid right back again for the Rangers to attack. It is Miller throwing one across the net mouth well wide. It is Zuccarello ridden off by Braden Shen. Coming by is Grossman, tipped behind to Streit, guided ahead to Raffl, and Raffl can charge on out. Michael Raffl led it across to Reed. At Reed forced one around behind that curled on over to Couturier. Punched on now for a try that comes from Raffl, who tumbled back down. Raffl gets up and kicks it on, but Miller is there. Miller wedged one through Dorsett and through Moore, taken by Grossman and thrown. And that one blocked, and then comes back to Flyer possession at center. Led back on for a tap to Couturier, followed up by Coburn and backhanded in. And so grabbed off and played out by Strallman once more. 8.5 to go, virtually non-stop play here in the third. Just to remind you, Pittsburgh well in command of the Metropolitan Division, despite the fact they've gone on some difficult times playing and injuries as well, most recently to Malkin. Offside is called. But between the Rangers and Flyers, only 1 point. The Rangers trying to make it 3. You're watching Wednesday Night Rivalry presented by Coors Light.
Little things matter in hockey. At the point of this play, it's 2-0. Look how wide open Vinny LeCavalier is, but Derek Brassard separates Braden Shen from the puck, and then same sequence, Derek Brassard bats it out of the air. Quick counter for the Rangers, and eventually it leads to this Dominic Moore goal. Little things matter, Doc.
Derek Brassard playing in his 395th game tonight. Began with Columbus. This one forced by Giroux. Flagged down and cleared, but off of St. Louis. I asked him this morning if he remembered his line mates in that first game in Columbus, and he said, I sure do. Gilbert Brule and Dan Fritchie. This brought back ahead. Brule was the guy that I think got tickets to U2 because he stopped by to help them when they marooned. This was fired wide. Remember that story?
Yes, I do.
Up in Edmonton, I think.
That's a great memory. Good job, Doug. Absolutely, in Edmonton.
Well, at any rate, we have the Flyers here in a desperate situation, 7.5 to go. Lots of season left. But along with this now comes Hall, and that one flipped to the corner. The security of second and third was going to be more secure for the winner of this game tonight. This is thrown by Grossman and blocked off. Chopped on, and Grossman kept it from going the length. If the Rangers win this, they have 86 points, 3 more than the Flyers, and the Flyers are 3 ahead of 4 other teams. That's the scary part. Guided around, and that by McGinn, curled along away from Ronaldo, punched on back to Grossman. Then across to Coburn. Coburn a shot that went wide and bounced onto Ronaldo, spun one that went wide as well. Jabbed along by Coburn, it bounced onto Ronaldo. Touched it around behind McGinn, could not get past Strallman, and the two of them test, and Schenn does the same with Richards. Thrown along by Richards. Grossman cross-bodied by Hagelin, able to tip it back now for a feed that must be played at center ice by Ronaldo, who dropped back alertly and defensively, and then an offside is called. So those are the standings, and keep in mind that when you look at these, that there are wild cards currently held on a technicality by Columbus and Detroit because they haven't played as many games as Washington and Toronto have. 80 points, all of them. Flyers at 83 on the left-hand column. Rangers 84. So it just gets a little testier if you wind up losing and are close to that. What might have seemed like the best way for this to turn out in terms of having some distance between themselves and those four teams was a Flyer win in extra time that would give both of them a total of 85 points, and both would be 5 away from the rest of the cluster. Here's a shot that is tipped aside as reaching for it was Miller. But those are the mathematical ifs that are easy from the press box but not from the ice. Jabbed around behind for Zuccarello, who is spun a bit there by McDonald, who's played a lot tonight for the Flyers. Then to Zuccarello, brush check by McDonald, nicely able to take it away, tripped up on the play. Play continues, unable to finesse by a Simmons. Right back in comes McDonough. McDonough laid it back across, can be played along by Brassard, taken further now by Zuccarello. Zuccarello fed on, a shot off the iron by Boyle. Diaz forced it behind, taken there and held. Given on back for another shot that is blocked in front off of Mason and corralled back out by Simmons.
Alain Vigneault's watching these depth players for his Rangers and saying, okay, we're starting a 4-game road trip or a 4-game road trip. We're ready. We're in good shape.
Unless there is some kind of a health issue to any of them, you would think there is not going to be a whole lot of change in their lineup based on what they've done tonight, and certainly not in the goalkeeper. This one is curled along again and taken back in by Strawman, just chewing up more time along the way. 4 3/4 minutes to go, as galloping ahead is Voracek. Voracek held down there. Voracek nicely able to be defended by Stahl and then glides right along. Forced behind by Stahl. Still persists. Got it on back. McDonald a shot, and that hit St. Louis. Sent on back, and Nash trying to control onside. Fired a shot wide. Couturier moves back out again for the Flyers in the last 4:20 of regulation time. Poked right back ahead, and on now with it is Boyle. Fed one across. That ricocheted off the stick of Dorsett and is carried back up by Reed. Marches on with Couturier. Reed fed one, and that one tipped away. It was going behind Raffl anyhow, and so it is Boyle. Checked off and up by Raffl, that it is fed by Couturier, but then off of Moore and Couturier again. Guided around for Klein. Dealt back ahead for the chop by Dorsett and back out. Dorsett, McDonough, and Moore with the goals tonight. The Flyers outshot the Rangers in the first 15-6, including the last 8 in a row in the first period. But the Rangers, with the help of this goaltender, were able to recover and keep the 0 on the Flyers side of the board. This may be a first-round playoff matchup. It is 2 against 3 in the NHL. 3:36 to go in the third, 3-0. Upcoming game, Chicago at Boston. NHL Network tomorrow 7 Eastern. Boston, Philadelphia Sunday afternoon, 12 Eastern on NBC. Chicago, Pittsburgh that night on NBCSN. Coverage begins with NHL Live, as it does in Detroit on Wednesday. NHL Rivalry Night on NBCSN, Boston and the Red Wings. Download the app or watch live online at NBCSports.com/live extra. Speaking of slashing, it has been an absence of penalties in this game tonight. 2 minors to the Rangers, 1 to the Flyers. Moore, who scored the third goal, takes this draw, and moving away is Pouliot. Hands over to Richards. They play it off the boards, and McDonald took care of Pouliot, but illegally so, and there'll be a hook. Second of the game for the Flyers.
Doc, we talked about the importance of little things. Face off in the Ranger zone. You get support, you win it. Dominic Moore is eventually going to come off the ice so Carl Hagelin can come on. But the Rangers get possession of the puck because the active wingers supporting the center iceman, and that leads to the penalty to Andrew McDonald with Benoit Pouliot driving hard to the net. Alain Vigneault's coaching this thing hard right to the end.
It is a paycheck that is always very good for coaches twice a month, and so it is all a part of the job. McDonald hooking, 16:32. Not to minimize what you were saying, but it is, as you recall, Pierre, from coaching, you don't give up at any time, and you're always thinking.
That's where I think he's really improved tactically over time, and more reps as a coach, you get better. And I think Alain, that's one of the things he's really improved at, is bench management and creating roles for players.
To the back it comes now, and it's banked back in by Diaz. Swirls all the way for San Luis. Aldo and flipped in front. I believe the chant is Henrique, am I right?
You are correct.
Okay, 28 shots by the Flyers. He's gotten them all so far, as this is dealt on back.
It's amazing to think when the season started how Henrik Lundqvist really struggled with the New York Rangers, and the Rangers struggled too. But he gets a new contract, he gets adapted to the smaller pads that he has to wear, and now you see him, he's just in a comfort zone. And I think another one of those players that utilized the Olympic experience and really got better, helping Sweden get to the gold medal game.
Zuccarello fired that one back around. Laid to the back now for the walk across, and a big blast that careened back out as Stahl let it go. Blocked by some poor unfortunate and dragged ahead there by Raffles. Stick knocked out of his hands. That will be a penalty. It is a slash, and it'll be 4 against 4 for 28.
That poor unfortunate soul was Luke Schenn, who blocked the shot, and Mark Stahl will take the penalty. Michael Raffle trying to go through the neutral zone, and then Mark Stahl hard on it. One hand on the stick, Raffle loses his stick, Stahl goes to the box, and we'll have a little 4-on-4 hockey for 28 seconds.
Players can be superstitious about this, but they cannot hear Pierre and I talk about it. Two teams that have been very fortunate injury-wise this year are these two. Comes to the back now for a hurried shot. Oh, and what a goal by Voracek on a ripper with 1:53 to go. A mash of a shot that gets the Flyers on the board.
Last time there was a face-off in that zone, Dominic Moore won it. This time he takes it and loses it to Claude Giroux, and it's a one-timer for Jake Voracek, high and up and over the gloves, and where Eddie Olczyk likes guys to shoot it right by the ears. That's right by the ears of Henrik Lundqvist. That's a great shot by Jake Voracek, and a nice face-off win for Claude Giroux.
Well, you've been in post-game discussions about goals yielded in the course of a game, and that would be considered a goal scorer's goal and no shame.
Absolutely.
Am I right?
Absolutely.
Well, here's Nash nudging this one back. Now, keep in mind that was a 4 against 4 goal, and in 13 seconds, the Flyers are going to get a power play here with 1:37 to go. Thrown back in by Klein, stopped by Mason, and then Streit. So with the power play of 1:30 and less than that time to go, this will be virtually a 6-on-4 as Mason comes to the bench. The net is empty. It is held by Simmons. Flyers trying to jam one more and make it even tighter. Led to the back. Streit a shot, and it was blocked wide as it ricocheted off an unfortunate Hartnell, who has been in the road for a couple of those. And this one is fired back down and will go for no icing because it is a shorthand situation for the Rangers. 1 minute to go here in the third period, and the Flyer deficit is 2. Hammered back in by Streit. Around it came all the way back to him, and he'll just hold now. Fan it out by giving to Voracek, and a shot deflected in on goal and stopped by Lundqvist, cleared to the glass. Giroux settles it down, got it over, and a feverish battle results in Streit getting it to Giroux again. Giroux has Brayden Schenn at the front, back to Streit. Shoots one, and that one knifed that, and then worked for Simmons with it. Backhand won't go. Another try off the pad of Lundqvist. Controlled and sent back off of Streit. Settled down by Simmons to Voracek. Back to Streit again. Fires, and that went off of Brayden Schenn. Now taken along by Giroux. Back to Streit once more. 15 to go in the game. It is Giroux fanning it out, giving it back to Streit. Streit holding now, back to Giroux once more. Shooting one, and that one blocked wide. To the last 5 seconds, and we get a stoppage of play, and we're going to get more penalties.
Girardi and Shen. Oh, that's Hartnell and Shen. Now Hartnell after step on. Now Simmons with McDonough.
Don Van Massenhoven and Dan O'Halloran, the referees, get in between the two combatants here. I noticed some blood on the hand of McDonough there.
That becomes a car wreck down low at this time of the game. Giroux just misses. McDonough no glove on. Slash from Wayne Simmons. Watch the glove come off. Gloves off, and then there'll be another slash later on. Message sending. Simmons is leaving. Hartnell's leaving. Girardi's leaving. McDonough's leaving.
And in 3.9, everybody else will. 3-1 in favor of the Rangers. Points 85 and 86. No one in the Eastern Conference has missed since the new arrangement of 3-point games with 94 points. The Rangers will be 8 away from that at the end of tonight. So will these coaches face one another again in April? All a part of the questions that hover over the fate of so many teams down the bumpy ride to the finish on April the 13th.
And after all the slashing and jousting, punches both ways from Simmons and McDonough.
Well, that's it for this night. The final score in the game, the New York Rangers 3 and the Philadelphia Flyers 1. Points 85 and 86. 8 games left for the Rangers. Staying at 83 points with 10 games left, the Philadelphia Flyers. Thank you so much for watching Wednesday Night Rivalry presented by Coors Light. Again, the final score on goals by Dorsett, McDonough, and Moore, the Rangers with 3, Voracek with 1. For Pierre Maguire, Doc Emrick saying so long from Madison Square Garden. Back to our studio and Liam McHugh.